welcome back, everybody. We're about to hop into our second adventure of the evening, which I'm entitling Scaring Crows. But before we do so, we're going to take a brief moment, as always, and introduce our heroes. So let's hop right into that. First up, we have joining us once more, Deus sang de Carte. Good evening, Deus.
Hey.
Am I pronouncing everything correctly on that?
Actually, yeah. It's really weird that you're pronouncing it correctly. Everyone always says Deus, and I'm so used to that by now.
I don't know why they would think that. It's clearly Deus, but I don't know. Maybe there's some other factor that's influencing it that I couldn't possibly conceive of.
It's my fault.
Deus, hello.
Hey.
Deus, I know you recently joined Bartholomew's adventuring troupe, and I understand that you dealt with a pretty, was it a worrisome goat?
It was a very big goat. We had a friend singing death metal to it, but frankly, I'm not sure if that was actually hindering the goat or helping it. That was the kind of goat you would expect to see in a death metal music video.
I was gonna say, from everything I've understood about goats, death metal is core to their being. So maybe that was the wrong strategy. But regardless, things seem to have worked out. You're back once more.
Yeah, last time was blast. Much better than retirement.
So yes, I haven't had the opportunity to kind of meet you officially. So would you mind telling me a little bit about yourself? Deus?
Hey, Sikia, are we still not doing the cover story?
I don't know. That's up to you.
Well, I mean, we botched the cover story last time. No point in trying to save face now.
Yeah, I guess.
We're a couple of travelers, I guess you could say. Places we're actually from. We're from two different planes. They got wiped out, and...
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Those were your homes?
Yeah.
And they were beautiful.
Well, I'm glad that you and Sikia here were able to find safety here amongst the lands of DnDTime. But I'm very sorry to hear that about your planes. Is that why you've kind of taken up with Bartholomew's adventuring troupe from this life of kind of wandering? Was this one of the first things you found when you came here, or why did you choose to join?
I've gotten so used to traveling at this point that mercenary work just feels natural.
That makes a lot of sense. I think that's true for many of the adventurers that choose to take up arms amongst Bartholomew's adventuring troupe. Well, Deus, welcome back. It is good to see you again.
Thank you.
Or meet you for the first time. I suppose I've seen you play, but we haven't had a chance to speak yet. Nor have I had a chance to speak with you, Sikia. Am I saying Sikia right, or is it Sikia?
No, it's Sikia.
Sikia. I was off. I was triple off. Sikia. Good evening, Sikia. Invastra.
Yep, last name's accurate.
Very good. So, Sikia, welcome to you as well. So, you were from this other plane. Were you from the same plane as Deus?
No, we were from two separate planes. We met on the last one we came from, and now we're here.
Sikia, how have you been finding the land of DnDTime? Has it been... I imagine it's hard being uprooted from, your home, but have you been finding it pleasant here? Have you been, is the land of DnDTime have any beauty to offer? You mentioned that your home plane was very beautiful.
It is... Okay, so my home plane was a great place. I lost it when I was 16. Everything in it. Almost including my father, but that's not the important bit. Then we got to the last plane we were on. That was it's hard to say. It was very chaotic and bloody, lots of fighting and war and stuff like that, and it just wasn't it wasn't a good place socially. Visually it was great.
Ah, yes.
And this plane is much more cheery than I would have ever imagined.
I guess that's probably a pretty big difference. I know we've had we get a strange amount of planar travelers around here, and one of the things that they seem to agree on is that this is a stranger playing than most. So I hope you are able to adjust, Sikia.
Usually able to adjust pretty fast. Deus and I have been together since the last one, and we're always, just fine.
Well, I wish you the best of luck in today's adventures, and it's nice to meet you and see you out adventuring once more, Sikia.
Yeah, good to be here.
Next up, we have joining us a brand new hero here in the lands of DnDTime, of sorts. We have Kintoki Kakata joining us this evening. Welcome, Kintoki.
Wait, what the hell? Hey, old man, I know I'm doing a jump for you, but that did not entail weird interviews in the white void.
Oh, you're referring to Bartholomew. He can't hear you right now. It's just me and you, Kintoki. So, welcome.
Okay. Yeah, no, this is not the weirdest thing to happen to me. Well, probably not even the weirdest thing to happen to me today. So, what are we doing this for?
You just kind of hang out here and me and you chat a little bit. I actually wouldn't mind asking you a couple of questions. Interview was actually pretty apt. I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about yourself, Kintoki. What you bring to the table as an adventurer, why you signed up for Bartholomew's shop in the first place. Would you care to answer those questions for me, Kintoki?
Yeah. Okay, so I am a bit short on cash, and turns out when you're terribly short on cash and miss 8 to 9 months on your rent, you tend to get booted out. So
that's the situation you find yourself in?
Basically, I ran a similar operation to this, doing some jobs, but turns out Bartholomew actually bought us out, so now I'm stuck as a peon running around doing stuff and taking less of a cut. Really great.
That is, well, maybe a little bit of a rough rap. I'm sorry that your company has been kind of absorbed at the moment, but I am glad that you're able to join us. What do you do, Kintoki? What's your skill set?
I am a samurai.
Oh, wonderful. So you're skilled with a sword.
Oh yeah. He will gesture to the wooden sword on his head.
A wooden sword. That's interesting. Are you able to are you able to hit well or cut with a wooden sword?
Cutting and hitting with a sword isn't about the sword. It's about the heart. I cut with my soul, not just with a blade.
I guess I'll have to wait and see. Kintoki, I'm sorry about the circumstances in which you find yourself here, but regardless, I am glad that you were able to join us tonight. Welcome, Kintoki.
Glad to be here. Is that line we said?
Yeah, that's fine. You're doing great. You'll be out of the void in just a moment. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. Normally it's a black void.
And last but of course not least, we have Aziliz joining us this evening. Hey, Az.
Hi.
We have a veteran at this point. Az, tell me, how have you been?
I've been great. I've been busy learning how to garden with Bloom, and he's taught me a lot of great things. And oh man, he's so handsome. It's just being in his presence. It just feels amazing.
I mean, he's the god of flowers, and as a flower yourself, I imagine it's there's a lot in kind of meeting your maker, so to speak. But you've been learning to garden, you said you've been taking those lessons pretty seriously. Have you been growing anything successfully? Have you made anything grow yet?
Yeah, I seem to have made some kind of strange combination. I think I messed up at one point, and I ended up creating a new flower which I haven't seen before.
Oh, do you know what like things you crossbred, or what does the new flower that you've made look like? Have you named it?
I haven't named it. Maybe I'll find an inspiration for a name today, but it looks yellow and it seems to have 2 very long petals, and that's it. It looks kind of like a propeller.
Oh, that's very strange. I've never heard of such a flower. Did Bloom also not seem to recognize it?
Not as far as I could tell.
Oh, so yeah, it looks like you have grown something entirely unknown to the world as of yet, Aziliz. That's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to hear that the gardening is going well. Are you happy with it? Are you feeling good about the way the gardening's been going?
I feel great about it, and all the bees
glad.
are coming as well, and so like they're so cute and adorable.
Excellent. As I'm glad that you've been finding some success with discovering your green thumb. And welcome back. It's good to have you adventuring with us again tonight.
Happy to be here.
And I imagine that your skills will come in handy again tonight, because there's another, I guess you could say, plant gardening adjacent, specifically farming issue that a farmer in Easttown has been having. Bartholomew told all of you before he kind of sent you out on this particular adventure that there was a farmer in Easttown who was having some trouble with crows, something of a crow infestation, and they've been really kind of letting his crops have it. And he needed all of your help, apparently this farmer, to ward some of them off and make sure that his plants are protected. And he's sending you to Easttown. And as we begin, you arrive in Easttown. It is a town that is east of Central City, is presumably how it is named. And as you enter, the town is decidedly chaotic. As you're taking in some of like the sights and the sounds around here, things that you notice kind of immediately as you're walking around is there was definitely no city planning in this place. The buildings are all made out of completely different materials. The paint colors are vibrant and wild. There are buildings that seem like they were just built on top of other buildings. And the people here are as diverse as the architecture. You can see people of all different races. You see a couple Florans walk by. You see bunny folk walking, orcs, humans, elves, halflings. You even see a couple of at one point you watch as just a very small looking copper dragon flies overhead and lands down in a nest on the far side of the village. Things are definitely a little bit strange here. But as you're walking about, the instructions told you to head over to a farm that was towards the outskirts of Easttown, nearing into the pastures and the meadows near the kind of the middle of the lands of DnDTime. So you kind of move towards the town outskirts, and as you walk through some of the twisting paths of Easttown, you eventually can see what look like just heavy rows and rows and rows of corn sticking up and out, and this presumably is your location. You haven't seen the farmer that you were supposed to meet up with. Apparently his name was Farmer Brown, but you haven't had the opportunity to see him yet, or you can't even see a barn house. The corn is growing pretty high here. It's above all of your head heights, but the path just leads into the cornfield, and there's no path leading through the cornfield. It's just dense. So that is where we officially begin. What would the four of you like to do as we're kind of coming into this adventure now?
Back where I'm from, I was able to see over all the corn because the tower that I lived in was massive. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a way in hell I'm going to be able to see over this unless we what's it called, Deus? The person stacking? What?
Are you asking for a piggyback ride?
No.
Well, okay. If you're not asking, then I won't give you one.
Hey, Deus, can you give me a
Maybe.
piggyback ride?
No, sorry. Those are reserved for...
Fine. In that case, I'll let you princess carry me.
Did you know? Apparently, kids can't be hurt here. It's pretty cool, actually.
Kids can't be hurt here?
Yeah. I was amazed when I found out. I saw this kid running through the gravel road, and he tripped up, and I thought he was going to be real bad. I thought I was going to need to help him, but no, he's completely fine.
but can they be hurt in other ways? What if Saturday rolls around and the kid doesn't have enough money to get his weekly job? Does he just get enough money, or does he have to deal with the emotional distress of not having his job?
You know, I have no idea.
Wait, what does jump mean?
It's but you don't know what a jump is? It's this it's imported comics basically. Well, you don't really call them comics. Just climb up on my back.
It's the Bible, which
okay.
true men follow.
And as you guys are saying that, you hear a sound up above. You hear which is clearly the sound of a crow, my immaculate crow noise. As you see landing on the branch above you, a crow kind of lands and is just kind of cawing at you and looking down from the tree branch at the group of the four of you as you're standing on the precipice of this here cornfield.
Oh, hello, Mr. Crow.
Kind of turns its head to the side.
How are you doing? Can you speak common?
The crow once again goes.
Okay.
That one sounded different than the other one.
Yeah, it did. Maybe there's a pattern to it. Oh, Mr. Crow, do you know Sylvan? Apparently not. Okay, I don't think I know how to talk to him. But, Mr. Crow, do you have something you want to show us?
The crow just reaches down and starts kind of like pecking at the branch. You're not sure if it's actually related to your question anyway.
But aren't we supposed to like help with farming issues and pests?
I mean, do you want to climb up that tree?
No, don't worry, I got this. I will draw my wooden sword and just huck it full strength at the crow.
Go ahead and make me an attack roll.
Oh no.
You kill a crow. You watch as he just takes his sword and just whips it at it. It strikes into the crow, and the crow lets out like a terrible squawk as it clatters to the ground, slain.
Wait.
You gain 0 experience points.
Lance, is that the same sword?
Oh no, this is my sword, and you see as I draw out another wooden sword as the other one seems to have broken, smashing into the branch the crow was on. Oh, yeah, there's this shop I order them from. They're actually pretty cheap. You can even get them.
Those are just normal wooden swords? They're not like a training sword or anything?
I don't know what you're talking about. The training sword is the sword you use to train with. It's the sword you have your soul in. Sometimes it breaks and you order another one online that looks the exact same.
You're telling that to a grandmaster of arms, but okay.
I don't know what a grandmaster is.
It doesn't matter.
All right, so you guys are kind of standing right here. You're on like the precipice of the court. You want to try and like go through it and navigate it that way, or are you going to try and go around? Did you end up taking that piggyback, Sikia?
I am in fact taking the piggyback. Yes.
Okay. In that case, from your slightly higher vantage point, your head now kind of cresting above the top of the level of the corn, you can see that there is a. You can see that there is a barn. There are other crops as well that are in various kind of places around here. But there is a barn in the distance. There's just no like good path to get through here. They didn't leave themselves any room to like walk through the corn. But you can see where presumably you're supposed to go and meet up with this farmer from your vantage point. They got cabbage and stuff too. It looks like a nice little vegetable farm.
How tall is this corn?
It's cresting up to about like 8 feet. So it's pretty high.
Oh, okay. No, that's manageable.
It's not towering. It's nothing crazy. That's what I was saying. When you're on the piggyback, you can see over it. You just can't.
Okay, so I don't have to like try to straighten up and look over it because Sikia is short.
No, you're fine in that particular regard.
Well, I can kind of see the barn. There's not really a path.
You could walk around it, or you could walk through it.
Do we want to proceed through like the cabbage patch? That might be easier.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So you begin walking and stepping off kind of about this farm. You walk first around the cornfield, and that seems to be like a lot of what is here. But then you begin moving through the cabbage patch. You pass by, as you're looking through, you can definitely see where birds and animals have done some damage to these crops here. Some of the cabbages are like torn apart, and pieces of like lettuce and various leaves are just strewn about or pecked at with like holes put through them. You can see that there's a scarecrow that is planted here in the yard, but there are a couple crows currently like rested on its shoulders. They don't seem particularly intimidated, and it's not hard to imagine why. It's kind of like goofy looking. It's got like the farmer who made it put like a big smiley face, and it's all like stocked with hay, so it looks kind of like pudgy and kind of just kind of roly-poly is a good word for describing. It's very round. And there are crows that are literally like picking hay out of its kind of head and from the spaces of its kind of sackcloth that it's made from. So it does not seem to be doing the job. You can actually see crows literally eating from the plants as you are walking near them. And as you get closer, they kind of like will fly off a little bit. And then as you walk past, they will go right back to eating from the crops again. They are very much not intimidated by you as you're moving through. But you eventually kind of proceed your way over to the barn, and as you get closer, you can see walking out of the building, presumably Farmer Brown. He walks out, he has a kind of a big straw hat on as he steps from the front of the barn, seemingly expecting you. And he calls out to you, "Good afternoon, all of you."
Hello.
Hello.
Let's go see what the Pirate King wants to see.
Beautiful day we're experiencing, is it not?
It is. It's really nice.
Yes?
So, I'm kind of new to all of this. You are the adventurers, yes?
Yep.
Yeah.
Got something of a crow problem. I don't know if you noticed on your way in.
Yeah, there was a Mr. Crow sitting on the tree. I think he was trying to tell us something, but I don't think I can understand him.
He was probably trying to tell you I'm a filthy, conniving crow that goes around and eats other people's crops that they work hard to grow. Because that's what these things do. They are mean. They're just terrible mean.
I mean,
I will toss the dead crow at this farmer. Well, there you go. We've taken care of your crow problem. That one won't be eating any more corn or hay or whatever.
I mean, that seems... I guess if you think that just outright exterminating's the problem, I actually didn't want to hurt him. I'm frustrated by him, but I was hoping y'all could just scare him off.
You know, a group of crows is called a murder, and that sounds pretty malicious.
That is a point that I had not considered in my analysis. Well, you are professionals, and however you think the job's to be done, I'll trust that you know how to do it. So whatever you think, my goal is just that you maybe get rid of some of them, however that may be. If you can avoid killing too many of them, they're just creatures of the forest. Can't stand them, and I'm frustrated by them, like I was saying, but I'd rather them not be destroyed en masse, if you know what I'm saying.
Okay, so you want us to force a migration, basically.
Yeah, just get them out of the area. Scare them one good so they don't come back. I put up a scarecrow, and he kind of gestures at the scarecrow. Ain't done much good. Maybe you want to hop on that stick yourself or something? Again, I don't know how y'all do your jobs.
well, I know how Dad would do it, but every time we go to a different plane, our powers kind of reset a bit. Okay, I'm wondering if talking to them was a possible solution. I mean, it seemed to be able to somewhat communicate to us. I don't know.
Oh, y'all can talk to crows?
It had inflections, like an intelligent creature would.
Oh, well, that's interesting. If you can talk to them and tell them, hey, get on out of here. I don't know if y'all are one of those nature type of adventurers, but yeah, y'all can just do that. That'd be great.
All right.
Well, if you need anything, I'm gonna make a nice glass of lemonade. So, I'll be happy to get 5 of them if you'd like. But I'll just be waiting here. You tell me when they're done. I kind of took the day off today to let you do your work, but... So, do you need anything?
Maybe we could put a lot of them to sleep, and then we can carry them out.
That sounds like it might work, too. Well, if you need my help with any of that, you just let me know, and I'll be out here. I'll just make a whole pitcher of that lemonade. And he pops inside and goes and begins getting to work and just leaves you all to your business. And apparently he wants you to go and get rid of some of these crows. So what do you all do? How do you go about this?
Okay, I think I've got a plan. If we all put on like a lot of jackets and some sweatpants and mittens and earmuffs and just go around talking about how cold it is and how winter's coming, the crows will think that it's time to migrate and just head on out.
I love it.
You know, that might have worked if it weren't just winter a few weeks ago.
They're crows. They can't be that good at telling seasons apart.
Crows are among the most intelligent of birds.
I've read once that they, like, pick up rocks and drop them on people if those people are rude to them.
Aw. Wait, so will the other crows throw a rock at you? Because you stabbed one of them.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that crows don't just throw rocks at people. They've started serious, like, crow gang wars and stuff. That's not a joke.
Yes, crows don't throw rocks at people in glass houses. They gang up on them and show you why they're called a murder.
I think the important lesson here to learn is that whatever we do, we gotta be careful doing it. Also, you other folks have to stay in school. Eat your vegetables, and don't do drugs.
What's a school?
So while you, with that question, as you guys are kind of hanging outside the house here, you can see there are, to start with, a few crows. There's like a little bit of a pumpkin patch. It's mostly a vegetable garden. There's a section with some tomatoes. There's a pumpkin patch. There are what looks like some potato roots in the ground nearby. But you can see that there are 2 crows currently. It's early in the season for pumpkins to a certain extent, but they're over and kind of like disrupting some of the new buds for pumpkins that are just starting to come in on this farm. As they're going over and just kind of like pecking at where like the flowers and stuff are. There's 2 of them there right now.
Forward, Deus, to the patch, I think.
Alright, you're the one closer in the air.
Yeah, and you can see, you can all see pretty clearly now. You've moved out of the cornfield, which was kind of obstructing your view originally. So everything but the cornfield is pretty laid bare before you, so you can get to anywhere you want on this farm easily. So your guys are going to walk over that way?
Sure.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
I'm going to ride over that way.
All right. As
I
you
will hang a little bit back for a dumb plan.
All right, I'm looking forward to it. You get closer to the two crows that are currently kind of eating at these early pumpkin growths, and they stop and kind of both look up at you silently as they're just now staring at you dead in the eyes, unflinching and unmoving. Again, very brave crows.
She will look over at the crows and formulate a small plan.
All right, you begin. We see like the numbers and the equations kind of floating around your head as you look at the crows for a moment. What do you do?
Well, see, I'm still forming it.
Fair enough.
We are masters of improv. We don't just have plans going into
Yes,
these things.
I understand. One of them kind of begins walking along the ground and comes up to you and seeing that you are very kind of plant-like in nature, they begin to peck a little bit at your foot.
Oh, that tickles. I'm gonna just pop a druid craft and put a flower under both of them so that they peck on that instead.
Yeah, absolutely. Little flower kind of grows out of the ground in front of it, and it kind of like takes a couple of steps back, startled by the sudden growth, and then begins to kind of like its head like bobs around as birds are wont to do, moving very quickly as it kind of like hops around it a couple of times, observing this flower that just popped out of the ground. Definitely seeming to understand that it's strange that a flower just appeared here, which is, belying maybe some of the intelligence of the bird here, as it's kind of looking over and observing it, then eventually pecks at it and takes it and just flies away, seeming to think that it's gotten away with something, as it flies away with your flower.
Can I, as they're flying, can I try to hold one of them, like, just gently catch it?
You're trying to catch it? Go ahead and make me a sleight of hand check. Or actually, this would probably be athletics to grapple. That's what you're trying to do, is grapple.
Okay, my athletics is terrible. Terrible.
It rolls to,
it rolls to acrobatics. These things fly.
Give me just a second on that. Why is it not coming up? It's going to make an acrobatics to resist. And it's going to roll it not to. Oh, geez, you rolled a 2. So you probably go, oh, it crit failed! It rolled a natural 1. So even though its 3 is higher, you still succeed because it rolled a natural 1. So The only scenario in which you could have, you reach out and you kind of like stumble, and as you do so, you watch as the crow's wing kind of catches on a plant that it's flying by, and it also stumbles, and you manage to catch onto it in a very clumsy looking way. And the crow is kind of in your hand, and it's kind of wriggling about violently, trying to shake itself away. But after you stand with it calm for a couple moments, it eventually just kind of calms down, and it's looking at you a little bit like, so what now?
I'm gonna pet it very gently on its head.
Okay, you pet it on its head. It looks at you. Gah!
Sikia will pull out a silver plate.
All right, you do this.
And getting closer to the other crow, she's gonna, not like angrily or roughly, but she's gonna throw it down on the ground in front of the crow.
As you look back from the crows that aren't getting grappled, you see another crow that just looks like Kintoki wearing a very cheap crow mask with his face fully visible inside the crow's mouth with the beak above and below his face.
Is this a disguise kit?
It's a costume.
Fair enough. How do you have this, is my first question.
It's not a magical item, and it's a mundane piece of adventuring gear.
Fair enough.
He's a bird watcher.
You go ahead and roll me a... What's the check for the performance check? I'm gonna say with disadvantage. Alright, 5. You kind of walk up. You guys turn around, and I almost just said Kintoki. Kintoki is wearing wearing this crow's outfit, and kind of steps forward, maybe looking stylish. If you think that someone in a crow costume is a stylish look, and a crow walks up to you, Kintoki, and you can't tell. You think it must be because of the crow's costume. They look up at you and go, "Ah!" The one in your hands, that you've been petting, has kind of calmed down pretty thoroughly at this point, and it is just hanging out. You put the silver tray down, and another crow kind of comes over and lands over and is kind of like pecking at it, seemingly, entranced by the shine of it all. And for those of you who've been doing this, the only one who hasn't done anything yet, Deus, I would like you to roll me a perception check.
Wait, what kind of perception check?
Just a regular old one. All right, yeah, you don't immediately notice anything.
Because I have the cat hood. So if there's anything that can possibly be heard, I can probably listen to.
Yeah, I get you. It's because he's everyone else was kind of doing things, so I figured while he was, relatively silent, he's more likely to notice stuff going on. But if you want to try and look around at some point, I mean, you're welcome to just say I look around and you want to kind of take in some of the surroundings here.
I ain't gonna do that yet.
Okay.
I will instead presume that these crows are not completely natural crows, because I'm pretty sure they're afraid of shiny things, but this guy just walked straight up to it.
Well, canonically, just for point of order, I thought crows liked shiny things, so that's in the land of DnDTime, normal crows like shiny things.
Okay, that is fine. In the real world, that is completely the opposite.
I don't know that much about crows, apparently.
It's okay.
Can I try pick up the crow who's pecking at the plate?
Yeah,
well?
You have advantage on this athletics check because it's distracted by the plate.
Athletics. Yay!
19. They have a +2. 10. They fail. You grab another crow. You have a crow in each hand. This one also freaks out and then eventually calms down. You have two crows. They kind of both look at each other and then back at you and then look at each other. And the one on the right goes, "Ah!" And the one on the left goes, "Ah!"
I'm gonna tuck both of them under one arm so that I have one hand free.
All right. It might be a little hard to hold on if you get into any, physical activity, but you're just collecting crows at this point. You're counting crows. Who would like to... what is everyone else doing? As As is putting together a crow collection.
I guess it's really true what they say. 2 birds in the hand is worth more than 1 eating the bush.
That kind of works.
It's a flower. Isn't that technically 2 birds in a bush? Does anyone have a stone?
No, sorry. I ate my last scone this morning.
And at this point, what are your passive perceptions?
12.
11.
14.
So at this point, Kintoki, you were the first one to notice as you're just kind of hanging out. You're looking over to the side of the farm where you were, and there is a lot less vegetables there. While you guys have been kind of interacting with these 3 crows, it looks like an entire row of cabbages and have been kind of disappeared, and also 30 or so corn stalks have been stripped of their corn. They are just kind of bare.
Okay. I get a feeling it might not be the crows.
I'm gonna turn to the
Right. Crow.
sorry.
What?
I thought you were saying something.
You're right. It's got to be Crow Ninja. We didn't come prepared for this.
What were you gonna say, Az?
I was gonna ask the two crows in my hand if they know what's going on.
Go ahead and make me a persuasion or an animal handling check.
Persuasion? Oh yes.
The crows both caw.
That's wonderful. I love them already.
Okay. So, I'm lost. I'm lost. I don't know what to do here.
Maybe
Fluent Mort. Kintoki. Yeah, crows don't cock. Caw.
Why do you know more?
I tell you, but Morts don't talk.
That's true. I can't deny that Morts don't talk. Go ahead and make me a persuasion check.
Wait, me?
Yeah.
Okay.
15. All right. The crows in Az's hands. The crows in Az's hands both just kind of caw again harmlessly. And yeah, a few more crows kind of come up and fly over the area and are just kind of like watching you guys now. There seems to be a party going on. And Kintoki, as you're just kind of hanging out there, a crow kind of flies up near you, and for just a second it kind of lands on your shoulder, and it very loudly in your ear goes "Caw!" And then much more quietly you hear it go, "Hey, you cool?"
Oh my god.
Hey, my guy, you know I'm like the coolest one here. Like, if there was a level of cool, these guys would be like, God.
It looks around and goes again, and then it goes, "All right, get these idiots out of here. Then cut you in." And then the crow flies off and begins kind of moving around.
I'll try to give a no wink to the party.
No one else heard this, and so you just see. Actually, go ahead and make me a perception check. I'll give you a chance with your cat ears to have picked this up, Sikia. Go ahead and make me a perception check. 19. You didn't hear the words, but you did hear like something that sounded like language coming from that crow. As it landed on Kintoki's shoulders for a moment. And Kintoki kind of looks back and winks at you guys. As in Deus, I imagine you have no clue what that could possibly mean.
What the hell? Does that costume actually work?
Wait, did that just...
Shh, play cool. Ka.
Ka?
You say "Ka." There's no particular reaction from any crows around. If anything, they seem to have, from your perspective, Kintoki, they seem to react to you being able to speak Mork.
Are the other crows still circling above us, or?
Yeah, there are crows kind of about. If you want to make a perception check to just see where the crows are, you're welcome to do so.
Okay. Perception.
20. Oh yeah, you're looking around and you're starting to realize, like, as you're really taking in this space, there are a lot of these things. And while you're kind of like standing there and holding the two crows that you have, which have really mellowed out in your hands, realizing that you're not going to hurt them, the other ones, I guess there's one under your arm too. That one's maybe a little bit less happy. You're starting to notice there's a lot of them in like the trees and stuff. But out of the corner of your eye, as people are like looking away and kind of moving to the side, you see crows like darting down off of the trees, tucking into like corn, taking one ear of corn and like kind kind of flying and like tucking away with it, and being very cognizant of like where your perception is being drawn at any given moment, and trying to like dodge this, and take this cord without looking. Basically, making a lot of stealth checks.
Okay, I'm gonna take both of the crows in my hands, and I'm gonna turn towards the largest group of crows that I see, like in the
yeah. There's a lot of them that are hanging out on the scarecrow.
Okay, so I'm gonna
like, hub.
So I'm gonna walk over to the scarecrow, and I'm going to wave my arms with the crows in hand, and try to see if that gets any reaction from them.
Go ahead and. The crows that are watching, I mean, some of them kind of like fly away, like they're frightened a little bit as you're like waving your arms at them kind of aggressively. The two that are in your, the two that are in your hand, and the one that's kind of under your armpit, I need you to make me, I guess, make me a strength check. How hard are you waving them? Like, are you trying to like fluster the ones you're carrying? Like, what's your play? What's the angle here?
I'm just like waving the crows in my hand to see if the other crows on the scarecrow see the ones in my hand and react or something.
All right, go ahead and make me an intimidation. Go ahead and make me an intimidation check.
Intimidation. Okay.
Yeah.
Not very good.
Yeah, the crows that are on the crows that are on a scarecrow kind of like, you know, some of them, like I said, jump back a little bit nervous, but they don't seem to be necessarily appearing like they're going after you, or like have a lot of concern for the ones that are being held on to. The ones that are being waved about don't seem to like being waved about. Kintoki, do you have any do you like relay the information to your party that crow talked to you in common?
Oh boy, I sure think we should get some lemonade over, so we don't have to bother these crows at the moment. As I'll kind of angle my head to kind of, hey, we gotta step away from the crows for some business.
All right, yeah, you kind of gesture everyone away. Do you guys all kind of follow Kintoki's lead here?
Yeah, I'm gonna hop off Deus's back because I'm pretty sure he's tired of carrying like 110 pounds on him.
It's probably a long time.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Come on, let's just go. He's got some sort of plan.
So you guys kind of go over and reconvene. As you come up, Farmer Brown looks over at you. How's the extermination going? Seems like you're pretty method. As he looks at you, Kintoki, wearing a crow outfit. Here's a lemonade I promised.
I don't want to alarm you, but it's much worse than we first thought. Not only are these crows eating your thing, they have crow ninjas, and they're part of the crow underworld. They're not just stealing, eating it, they're peddling it and passing it along. They think this is going to be a good haul.
Well, that's a bit of fantasy if I've ever heard it. I think they're just regular old crows. If there was some kind of crow underground, I'd know about it, wouldn't I?
Oh, you would know about it, would you? Can I insight check him?
Go ahead and make an insight check. You don't know. There's something suspicious maybe about this Farmer Brown. By which I mean you don't know. It's not a good insight check.
I wish I could help.
You sure seem to know a lot about crows, Farmer Brown, if that is your real name.
Yeah, it is.
What?
Oh, this is an insurance scam.
Wait, what?
You get the crows to steal all your food so you can store it, collect the insurance payout, and then still sell the vegetables on the side? Is that what's going on here?
Wait, hold on. There's an important question that needs to be asked here. Are you telling us your first name is Farmer?
No, my first name is Anthony. Farmer Brown is just sort of how the folks around here know me. And my farm is not... What is insurance?
I'm curious if he's lying too.
Go ahead and make an insight check.
Here, have some bardic inspiration, because I feel like we're going to start needing it.
You want to toss bardic inspiration on that? 18.
How does 18
All right,
look?
with an 18, you begin looking into the trap of Farmer Brown's mind and realize that he just thinks that crows are crows and doesn't believe in things like crow ninjas and crow underground societies. So he just assumes that he's being messed with.
Can I ask you a question,
He is guileless.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
All right. Here's what I'm going to ask you. You live in a world where people enjoy trash as a living space.
That sounds odd.
You live in a world... Anyway, you live in a world where there are dragons.
Oh yeah! Down the street, there's a copper one right over there.
You live in a really weird world, and I don't know if you're just closed off.
I mostly hang around here, yeah.
And we live in this society.
So, what's your point?
I'm gonna hand him one of the crows in exchange for a lemonade.
You don't have to do that. What am I going to... All right, I guess I got a crow now. Hi there, little fella. He hands you a lemonade. What's your point? Was it Sikia? Am I remembering that right?
Yes. My point is, there may be things beyond your knowledge that you wouldn't even know existed, right? And you think we're messing with you.
Go ahead and make me a persuasion check. With advantage. Because it's a very good line of logic.
It's being very slow today on these rolls.
And you just see him goes, well, I don't... And then his face kind of like slacks for a second, and he goes, there's a crow mafia. There's a crow mafia. The crow mafia done moved into my farm.
Hey,
Yeah.
keep it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't alert the crow moth. You know why they call crows murderers? You don't want to know.
And as you say that, the crow that he's currently holding goes, yeah, you're right about that. You don't want to know why. Yeah, that's right.
Oh my god.
And the crow kind of looks around.
So-
The crow kind of looks around at all of you. Yeah, it looks like the jig was up anyway. And he kind of calls out, and he just goes, "Caw!" very loudly. And he calls, "Caw!" again. And a bunch of the crows begin to kind of fly over and kind of just line up on the ground at the outskirts of the farm.
I
Quickly
stab
close,
him.
close the barn door.
I wish to stab this crow.
Wait, don't.
Oh no.
I mean,
you
we
don't
have
question
we
it.
have two other crows.
Don't you know the
And
value
as you
of a
gesture the
hostage?
knife, you gesture the knife towards him, and he just goes, "You pluck one feather, but the bird lives on."
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm used to that sort of thing.
So you're saying you're not going to answer our questions?
Well, I guess depends on the questions. As he's again looking back at that knife again, being like, I mean, I wouldn't mind living.
She will. She's gonna deploy her cat claws now as she just kind
Pick 'em
of
up.
plays with this knife a little bit, just kind of glinting it at him.
I think there's a bit of a better way to go about this. If you let me try.
Go ahead, but if he
That one was pretty nice to me. Yeah, what do you have to say, Flower Man?
I'm gonna cast sleep on as many crows as I can.
All right. Roll sleep.
Okay, and it's gonna be level 2.
You knock out 30 crows. as they all have 1 hit point. As the kind of horde of crows over on the side just the sleep kind of comes over them, and then you watch as just left and right all around 30 crows all just fall over and begin sleeping, and the other crows begin just kind of like squawking and flying about in chaos.
Whew, okay. Well, that did some of it. Let's just hope that they stay asleep for now, and then we can take care of the rest.
I believe sleep, the thing is sleep only lasts a minute, so right now you've bought a minute of a bunch of these crows being out of commission.
A minute of a bunch of these crows, yeah.
So the other crow kind of looks at you and he goes, that's some... I thought you were going to be kind of on my side. What about this? Hey, you! He looks at you, Kintoki. What's the deal? I thought you were cool.
Oh, I'm ice cold, as I'll dramatically remove my crow mask or head of this. Ice cold.
No, I mean, I knew you weren't a crow, but I thought you were maybe like with the human mob or something.
Wait, you knew I wasn't a crow? This guy knows too much.
Are you stupid?
Are you talking to the crow or to Kintoki?
I'm talking to Kintoki. I just deadpan ask him, are you stupid?
Obviously not. Only a genius would think to bring a crow costume to a battle against crows.
Alright, listen here. We got 2 crows right here. One of you guys is going to tell us where you people are, well, where you birds are storing all the food.
The other crow, who's been kind of silent this time, goes, "We'll never talk." And
Okay,
goes,
I can make
he's
dinner
right about
then.
that. What'd you say?
I can make dinner tonight then.
Crows don't taste good, so that's a waste of a dinner, huh?
Oh, I've
All right.
tasted much worse things than crows.
Okay, let's pluck him and batter him alive.
Hang on. Hang on. You won't talk, huh?
Nope, never.
Then- okay, how about I ask you a question completely unrelated to your little crow mafia work? Then would you answer it?
Raises a kind of, doesn't really have eyebrows, but he raises an eyebrow as if to say, "I'm intrigued." You see a motion that indicates that.
What do you get when you stab a writing implement into a tree-born fruit?
The other crow goes, "What do you get when you stab a writing implement into a tree-born fruit?"
Pineapple.
Oh no! You're going to viciously mock both of those crows, or are you viciously
that was
mocking?
a double click on accident.
Okay, you're viciously mocking one of them. All right, the crow's going to make a wisdom saving throw, rightfully so. Oh wait, not that. Wrong thing. This. 7. They fail, and then they die. They die to your awful joke as it shatters their psyche. And the other crow goes, "Did you just joke that guy to death?"
Now, do you want to tell me about your crow mafia job, or would you like to hear another joke?
You see what happens to wise guys here. I think you know what.
Make an intimidation check with advantage. 10. He looks at you and he just he just kind of goes, "I don't really want to hear a joke or tell you, so I'll say, ah!" And you watch as all of the crows that are not currently asleep, which it's been, I would say, a lot of the time for sleep, but not all of it, since time's kind of dragged out here, I think, a little bit in some places, but a lot of the crows begin to lift up and scatter as they're beginning to move upon the house. Crows fly closer. I think I would like you guys to roll for initiative.
Damn it. Okay, I wanted to pin this crow to a table or a wall.
I mean, you have the crow is like well in hand at the moment. I think Az has him like grappled completely, and they're unable to.
Yeah.
True. But I wanted to stab him onto a table and just hold him there and be like, heh.
Well,
I'll toss it over to Sikia.
I'm gonna roll initiative.
In that case, the swarm of crows is going to roll for initiative.
Do we get a 1d2 here?
A 1d2?
Well, we had 2 fails. Like two crits.
I see what you're saying. No, you just go first.
Oh, play. Okay.
I skip it to players first. So in that case, the first to act in this instance is going to be Deus. What would you like to do?
Wait. What?
The first to act is Deus.
Sure?
Oh wait, no, it's okay. Never mind. You're the first to act.
Okay.
I thought you were that one because you said that there was a tie, so I thought you were the tie.
No. It's okay.
Sikia, you're the first to act. What would you like to do, Sikia? You get tossed to that crow by Az. You have it now in your hands. No action required. You can choose to let go if you want to get a free hand, but you currently have the crow.
No. What I'm going to do with this crow in my hand is the door closed behind us?
It's like closed but not locked.
Okay. Farmer Brown is alive, alive, obviously. I'm going to look out the door, and I'm going to think to myself for a little bit. These things are starting to swarm up, or what?
Yep. They are.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to plan for a little bit. I think I want to prepare an action.
Okay. You ready in action. As we move, what's the action that you're readying?
I'm preparing a chromatic orb.
And what's the trigger on that?
You know what? Let's go with the first swarm I see when the door happens to open, if it gets opened.
So you're moving into the house, is what you're saying. And,
oh, we're outside?
yeah, you're on the porch.
Oh, so what you're telling me is I could just tree fire.
Oh yeah, if you want to.
I'm instead going to Ray of Frost, then.
All right. You go after. There's 2 swarms of crows that are flying closer. One big old group of crows is still asleep. Go ahead and make me an Ray of Frost attack on one of them. 18 is going to hit. Roll damage.
Pathetic. But that's 2 damage at least.
2 damage is still damage. The Ray of Frost flies in, and you watch as 2 crows fall out of the swarm. As we move next in initiative 2.
2 birds with 1 ray.
That's pretty accurate here. As we move next in initiative 2. Who was the other 18? Az, what do you want to do?
Okay, so since we're out, so there's 2 swarms, right?
Yep.
All right. So number 1, Tides of Chaos. Number 2, I'm gonna spend a sorcery point to get Twin Spell.
All right. And then you're gonna.
I'm gonna throw a Chaos Bolt at each of them with advantage.
All right. Go ahead and make me a couple of attack rolls.
All right. First one's 13.
13's gonna hit.
Second one is 20.
Definitely gonna hit. Roll damage on both of those.
All right. So the first one is a 3 and a 5. So I'll make it lightning. So that's 10 points of lightning to the first swarm.
Okay.
And the second one is a 4 and a 2, which is I'll make it 12 force damage.
10 and 12. So one gets hit for 10. So basically, they've now both been hit for 12 because they already took 2. So your chaos bolts fly out in two different directions as they crackle into the swarms of crows. The crows begin to kind of like cackle and more of them drop down like flies out of the or drop down, I guess, like birds out of the swarms that are flying towards you guys. As we move next in initiative 2, it's a pretty good turn. As it seems like, as always, as we move next in initiative to Kintoki. What would you like to do?
As focus shifts to Kent, he almost seems to be glowing, pulsating with energy, his messy, wavy silver hair suddenly glowing and sticking out a brilliant gold as he will rush forward and swing upon the swarms of crows with his wooden sword.
Did that
All
guy
right.
go Super Saiyan, Deus?
Attack
I have
away.
an item.
Wait, what?
Training sword.
I don't know what this is. Oh, interesting. Okay. Go ahead and roll damage on that then. Alright, so you hit for... This is basically like the unarmed strike of sorts. You hit for...
It counts as a monk
He's a
weapon,
monk.
which means I can substitute my martial art.
That seems overpowered. We'll talk about this.
It is, but
that
I
was-
mate.
That was actually how it was ruled when I rolled it, and you guys wanted to keep it that way.
Well, we'll talk about it, but for now it's that for sure. So you swipe and stab in with your training sword for 5 points of... Wait, is this a magic item?
Yes, this
Oh,
was
okay.
like...
I thought you were saying that this was just like a thing that was in the DM's guide.
No, this was...
Okay, never mind. Yeah, that's
this
all.
was a bag pull of like 800.
That'll checks out then. Never mind, I understand now. Alright, so yeah, you smack into these things for 5 points of damage. As you hit them, they do seem to be resistant to the damage that you're hitting them from, like all swarms are, but you whack 2 swords out of the sky with a single swing. Or 2 crows out of the side.
I was gonna say, oh god.
Yeah, they're also made of swords. Is there anything else on your turn? Sorry about the confusion there. I thought that was
I
just
will-
like a... They got him.
Bonus action, punch 2 of them.
Alright, swing away.
2 of them. Oof.
Unfortunately, both of those attacks missed as you're just kind of throwing haymakers into the swarm of crows, which are flying around you, and you're not able to make any solid contact. A lot of wings and claws that you're hitting, and no center mass. Anything else on your turn?
That will do it.
In that case, it would be on to Deus. However, a character whose initiative you have not seen yet is going to act, and you hear the crow that's currently in your hand, Sikia, kind of looks up at you and goes, "You think that we were able to pull off a job like this without an inside man?" And you see the scarecrow, upon which all of the crows were resting, kind of turns around and begins animating and kind of jumping down onto the ground as it removes itself from the pole that it's rested on. And goes, "We had a great thing going here, but then all of you had to come along and ruin it." As you never found out that the scarecrow isn't on it, but he is going to look at you. I think he's going to go after Kintoki. Kintoki. I would like you to make me a wisdom saving throw. He's going to use his terrifying glare upon you. 13 is enough to succeed, as the scarecrow then begins shuffling forward and moving towards you. As it moves with a surprising bit of swiftness, its kind of body shambling as it does so. We move next in initiative to Deus. What would you like to do?
Oh man, this is it's picking up fast. All right, Deus will step off of the porch, get clear line of sight on the apparently animate scarecrow and the 2 wake swarms of crows. and he will do a familiar waving of his hands and send out some baneful energy.
They're going to make... You can get all of them, right?
All of them except the sleeping swarm.
All right. Oh, I'm sorry, charisma saving throw. 19, the crows are not very charismatic, as they are both going to fail with a 5 and 2 respectively, but the scarecrow succeeds. So both crow swarms are now baned. As we move next in initiative... I'm sorry, is there anything else on your turn? Of course, you're a bard. What am I talking about?
Yes.
You're a bard.
No, I am a bard. So there is one more thing. Hey, try striking with open hands. Birds might fly into it.
As you're going to inspire Kintoki.
Yes.
All right. In that case, that's going to bring us next in initiative to the crow swarms, one of which is going after you, Kintoki, because you were up near it already. And that's a 15 to hit. Would a 15 hit?
It does not.
Oh, it does not hit. All right, then I don't even need to roll that bane. That was going to... Oh, 11 definitely doesn't hit. The other crow swarm is going to fly over. And I think they're going to go after you, Deus, as you have baned them. And they're going to roll... Oh, man, that's a really good roll for them. It's a 23, Deus.
That hits, yeah.
I assume through bane that hits. Yeah, 21.
Yeah.
So you take a total of 7 points of piercing damage. As they kind of claw at you and begin kind of pecking all over your body, as the swarm is now kind of hovering about your upper torso section. And that's all for the swarm of crows' turns.
Close enough for me to get off an attack of opportunity?
That crow swarm was not, no. And the other one's still on, yeah. So that's going to bring us next initiative to the top, which was Sikia. What do you want to do, Sikia?
This crow swarm.
The one on
basically, yeah. This crow swarm that basically just flew up to Deus to hit him. Okay. Man, 11.
11 is going to just miss, unfortunately. You're a little bit nervous as Deus is like in the same spot as the crows, and as the orb flies through, you shoot a little bit wide, trying to avoid hitting your friend. Anything else on your turn?
Friend is understating it. I wish I had meta magic. I have nothing else, I think.
All right. In that case, we move next to Az. What do you want to do, Az?
How far is the scarecrow?
The scarecrow is about the scarecrow is about 20 feet from you, next to Kintoki, who also has a swarm kind of hovering about him.
Okay, if I were to move, would I be able to get all the swarms and the scarecrow in a line?
You could do this, but 2 of your allies are occupying the same spots as those swarms, so you'd also hit 2 of your allies in that line.
Okay, never mind. Change of plans. I'm gonna cast Earthen Grasp on the Scarecrow.
All right, the Scarecrow is probably gonna get Earthen Grasped.
He needs to make a Strength save.
That is better than I thought it was gonna be, but a natural one ain't gonna get you there. The Earthen Claw whips up and kind of crashes into him, crushing and holding the Scarecrow in place. Anything else on your turn?
Oh yeah, I need to check if I'm gonna have a surge.
Oh,
which I don't.
Yes, unfortunately not. As we move next in initiative to Kintoki. What do you want to do, Kintoki? You got a scarecrow, spooky, scary scarecrow, as well as a bunch of crows around you.
As a bonus action, I will dramatically twirl my blade about as I dance out of the melee of this swarm of crows, taking the dodge action as a bonus.
All right. You dodge. Are you going to move, or are you going to hang where you are?
Yeah, I scoot out of their melee range.
Okay, you do this. They're going to take a opportunity attack against you with disadvantage. The Scarecrow also will get 2 with disadvantage.
The Scarecrow's restrained, by the way, so...
Yeah, he has disadvantage. This one is. So 6 is going to miss, and 12 is going to miss. So you hop out of melee range. What else do you want to do, Kintoki?
I'll reach into my robes and pull out my handheld Neo Armstrong sight. Ah, God, give me a second. I messed the thing up. But I pull out what appears to be a very uniquely designed pistol out of my robes and will shoot at the Scarecrow.
It moves once more. Go ahead and make me an attack roll.
Sorry about this, but I've read the manga, and guys this ugly don't win the...
Fire away, man. Wait, are you using it to attack now?
Yes, but I accidentally messed up the macro when I was saying that.
Oh, okay. You can just roll it. Just roll it direct. Hey, there it is. Go ahead and roll damage, because that definitely hits. 10 points of magical piercing damage, which strikes into the Scarecrow, and kind of you watch as tufts of hay and bits of like wooden sticks that were keeping his form up get blown out the back of it, and the Scarecrow is hurt. It's magical too, which is good for his resistances. Anything else on your turn?
Oh, damn, you're still up.
Yeah.
We'll fight like men, and I'll once again draw my sword and run up in melee of the Scarecrow.
Oh, okay. I love it. You run out, fire, and then go back in. That's really good. All right, you get back into melee as it moves to the Scarecrow's turn, who is in an earthen grasp. So the only person that can attack is you, and that is at disadvantage. 14 misses you, so they make 2 attacks ineffectually as we move next to Deus. What do you want to do, Deus?
I want to not be surrounded by birds. I think this will work. It's going to shout at them as if he were like calling for one of those hunting dogs that goes along with the skeet shooting.
Which this is one of the swarms, right? Oh, the swarm that's around you. Yes, of course. Make a wisdom saving throw. They fail. Would you care to describe the killing blow on the swarm of birds? That's a lot of damage.
I can only think of one thing based on the action I just described, and it's incredibly stupid, but I'm rolling with it, and I'm apologizing in advance. So he basically just shouts them out of the sky. And he just yells at them to back off now.
And as you say now, every crow just crashes down to the floor dead. Fusro doggy, yeah. As you have defeated one swarm, we move next initiative to the bonus action.
Yes, one last bardic inspiration. Hey, Sikia, they I think they're awake to noises.
Don't say.
That moves next to the swarm, other swarm of crows, which is right up next to you, Kintoki. They're not having a great time of it, it would look like. But they're going to go ahead and try and get you. That is a 11, which misses, as you're all over this swarm. And that's top of the initiative. That's it for them. As the other one's down, Sikia, what do you want to do? There's a restrained scarecrow and a swarm of crows.
I'm going to use my chromatic orb on the scarecrow, actually.
Yeah, fire away. What damage type?
Burn.
Yeah. All right, roll damage. So 7 points of damage, which isn't a lot for a chromatic orb, but it's actually 14 points of damage. As you fire your chromatic orb forward, it ignites the straw in wood, making up the scarecrow's form, and they, as you have asked them, burn up. If you would like to describe your killing blow.
Oh, I just killed a scarecrow?
Yeah, you killed it. Because you did 14 damage, it was vulnerable to fire.
Burn, wither to ash, to the hell whence you came.
And the scarecrow kind of calls out, "I'm not from hell, Farmer Brown!" And Farmer Brown, who's behind you, kind of pokes out and goes, "He's right, I did make him.
I'm sorry, we'll make you another one."
It's all right." And
it seems the fire of my soul was too much for you to handle.
And that's going to
wait.
Bring us to as what would you like to do? There's one swarm of scarecrows left.
I'm just
Swarm
gonna
of
bonus
scarecrows.
swarm of scarecrows.
It's a new, more powerful foe than you can imagine.
Write that down. Write that down.
What would you like to do, as?
Bonus action, I'll move my hand, the earthen grasp, to the other swarm. So they have to make a strength save, I guess.
Alright. They're gonna make a strength save. Turns out swarms of crows are bad at that. They take 5 points of bludgeoning damage, which is halved, as the thing kind of goes up and crushes onto him. But you watch, as soon as it grabs on, the crows just kind of fly between the fingers and stuff, as swarms are immune to the restrained condition.
Yeah.
They do take the crushing damage.
Okay, and for my action, can I do a wild magic surge to
Yeah, roll it.
Okay. Alright, D100, let's go. 95, oh boy.
What happens?
95, everybody on my team gets immunity to, oh wait, no, sorry. We get vulnerability to piercing damage.
Oh no, that's the worst scenario.
That's the worst one.
Form of throws.
Okay, never mind.
Only deal piercing damage. All right, you're all now vulnerable to piercing damage.
Doesn't matter. I'm gonna throw Tides of Chaos up anyway because I want to finish.
Yep, go ahead.
So with advantage, Chaos Bolt as usual. 21.
Roll that damage.
That is pretty innocent.
Indeed you do, if you would care to describe your killing blow on this last swarm of crows.
So my hand is trying to swat at them and try to catch a bunch of crows, but they don't work. And then I just take that opportunity to set off a conflagration with a flaming Chaos Bolt.
All right, and the crows just burn in an instant as they also kind of fall down to the ground. And you see a moment later, you watch as the crows that were in the swarm that were sleeping all kind of wake up. And one of them is kind of going like, "Man, didn't expect to be so tired all of a sudden, but let's get these." And then they look up and they see the scene before them. And that crow goes, "Caw!" And all of them fly away.
It's like fireworks.
Yeah. You also see from like the surrounding trees and stuff, more crows that weren't even like here and engaged are also flying and running away from this farm. And Farmer Brown looks back at you and goes, "I just thought that was going to be some crow removal, sort of like pest, not even pest extermination, just like you go up to them and kind of go like, ah, and then the crows don't want to come back here anymore. That was a lot more than I thought it was going to be."
Have you learned your lesson about playing with the underground?
No, what did I do wrong?
You didn't really do anything wrong. The issue was, well, we had to logically convince you that you live in a magical place and a crow mafia is not the weirdest thing you've heard of.
And he kind of thinks for a while. "Well, I have heard of this weird currency you guys get. I can't understand why anyone would want paper money over good old-fashioned gold, but I guess this is what I was supposed to pay you? You did your job."
Yeah.
And he hands each of you 100 Bartholomew bucks. Each of you gains 1 point of experience, and you have successfully completed this adventure. Congratulations, you guys, on your victory.
We didn't just do our job. We did a murder.
Yeah, but excellent stinger. Would any of you like to shop?
Let's go play some pachinko, my guy.
All right.
Kintoki walks off into the sunset.
As you walk off into the sunset, the door upon the horizon leads you into Bartholomew's shop, where when you enter, you are greeted by the traditional, if you need a magic item, you know where to stop. Just come on down. It's your only choice to Bartholomew's shop. And Bartholomew says, greetings, adventurers. Is there anything I can get?
Yes.
Yep.
Very good. What would you like?
First and foremost, I'm terrible at magic, so I'm wondering if this charm of lesser magic might help me out here.
I think it just may. Roger! And he kind of looks around. Usually Roger does those, but I can get it for you. And he snaps his fingers, and one appears in your hand.
Thank you. One other question.
Yes.
Wait. I don't have armor to glamour. This is awkward.
Would you like to buy the requisite armor?
I can't wear armor.
Then that is a tough situation. You can glamour if you want a clothing glamour. You can just glamour like robes. For the sake of putting charms on them, if that's what your intent is.
I would instead like to glamour my short sword.
Done and done. And Bartholomew snaps his fingers, and your short sword takes upon the shape that you desire.
Yes, perfect. I will write it down later. That's all for me. Thank you.
Very good. Anyone else?
Yeah, I think after this one, I have enough to do a bag pull.
You want to pull from the bag?
Yeah.
I wish you the best of luck. I always get nervous on people's first bag pulls because it's always a big one. I wish you the absolute best of luck. I hope you get a nice high number. Go ahead and roll me a D1000 as Bartholomew holds out the bag towards you.
637.
Nice. Not bad at all. All right, you reach into the bag, and your hand passes over. First, what appears to be some type of dagger. And then a ring, as you kind of touch the ring for a moment, your mind begins to run with like mindless chatter that you're hearing back, and you think, maybe not that one. And instead, what you end up pulling out, it's cloth. It's very, it's very like soft. It's a fine silk, and it's kind of folded up right now. It looks like a handkerchief. But Bartholomew says, if you go ahead and unfold that, and as you do, it becomes this circular sheet. He goes, this is an adventurer's classic. I believe I've given away one before. It is a portable hoe. You can take the portable hoe, lay it out upon the ground, and it becomes a 10-foot deep hole. You can fill things with it and then fold it back up and put it into your pocket. An item beloved by adventurers from time immemorial. And you get the portable hole. Yeah, it's a classic. I love that one.
All right, just a question. So, like, it's a 10-foot deep hole, right?
Yes.
So, if I put it up against a wall, would it go through that?
You could do that. You'd have to have a way to like make it stay on the wall because it's still a cloth. Yeah, and all the details of it are written on the portable hole, which will appear in your inventory. You should be able to check it out on the website soonish.
Okay.
I would like to mention that was a 637, one above a 636. We almost had a triple.
A triple would have been an anomaly, the likes of which the world hasn't seen. But for now, it is only the double. It's still the high score. Anyone else? Going once?
They recently discovered I'm actually in debt.
No, he's actually in debt somehow. There was a codex glitch, and now he's at -200.
Sometimes we let people buy things that they can't because we don't realize that they can't. So sometimes it happens.
Negative 100.
Anyway, anyone else going once? Going twice? Lance, did you want to? I thought you said you want to do backball.
Oh no, I was saying that my guy was going off to play pachinko.
Oh, I thought that was your. I thought your gambling was you gambling away your money at the bank. All right. In that case, that's all for right now. We'll be back shortly with our third and final adventure of the evening, a Legend Tier adventure to wrap it up. Should be a lot of fun. We'll see you all very shortly with our final adventure. Bye.